let's get into the Junks sports page. Some big doings, big news as far as the bill to transfer power over the RFK site.
That you drive by all the time.
That I drive by on a daily basis.
Every single day you drive by
Every single day. I drive by it on the way to work, but I can't see it on the way to work because it's freaking dark.
Yeah, right.
But I see it on the way home from work every single day. Every day.
All right, I'm just taking this from ABC7News.com. But a House voted yesterday to clear a path for the RFK Stadium site to be revived. We kind of talked about this yesterday, right, EB?
Yeah.
Which could allow for the Commanders, obviously, to come back to D.C. Bipartisan RFK Memorial Stadium Campus Revitalization Act passed with a vote of 348 to 55, and the bill will let the city enter into nearly a 100-year lease with the National Park Service.
Right.
The Commanders, of course, are still in the honeymoon period with new ownership, and they are obligated to play at FedEx through the 27 season. But after that, who knows?
Maybe I'm wrong, but my assumption is, and I think I mentioned this with Derek Force when I did that hit with him this week, was that if you polled Commanders fans, I think probably like 90% would just all things being equal, rather have it at the old site. That'd be awesome, right? In D.C. at the old site.
Could this kind of divert Bowser and her whole team's
that's
effort
part of the. If that's
to
part
stay
of the,
here with the Caps and Wizards, if they're really focused on the Commanders coming back to RFK?
that's part of the deal. I mean, if you read all the Washington Post articles, it seemed like Ted was a little bit hurt that Bowser seemed to focus more on the Commanders
Right.
than the Wizards and Capitals.
Yeah.
And so he said, "Okay, you're asleep at the wheel. You're focusing on the Commanders. Let me see if I can move us to Alexandria."
Now, to defend Bowser and the D.C. government, if you're going to choose between the NFL and a package of the NHL and NBA, you're going to choose the NFL.
Yeah.
I mean, you're 100 times out of 100.
All things being equal, but you could also make the argument one facility is already there,
right,
with two teams that are already there. So,
but I think the opportunity to bring them back to D.C. supersedes them super serving Ted Leontis. That's just my personal opinion.
I don't know what's going to happen with the Capitals and Wizards. I know
Yeah.
that we had Monica Dixon on the show last week, and she was kind of filling in on the legislation for Monumental and the move to Alexandria. I didn't even watch the piece. I'll admit this. But when I walked by the break room yesterday, there was the headline, "Another group opposing the move of the Capitals and Wizards." It seems like there's a lot of opposition from the city of Alexandria,
A lot of
from some of the
friction.
people in the Virginia government. So who knows what's going to happen?
Well, I talked to that same person that Jason talks to a lot that works over there at Monumental this week when I was at the a game. They're convinced that they're going to move.
Yeah.
That all that stuff's just is semantics and it's all going to be worked out.
Yeah.
But they're convinced.
That's what they were telling us.
So, I don't know. Who knows?
I mean, the person that I think you're talking about says that they have company-wide meetings, pretty much on a weekly basis,
Right.
explaining everything.
Right.
So, I mean, they're not just doing that to waste their time.
I don't think they're doing it to bluff.
They're not bluffing.
But I also don't know, Cakes, why the city couldn't accommodate both.
I guess they could
Most
try.
cities do.
They could try to.
Yeah.
Maybe they just feel like they have limited resources and can only allocate the resources to one or the other. I don't know.
Is that true that most cities do, though? Because I'm just thinking New York doesn't really have the stadiums in the city. They're in New Jersey, right? It's the
I do
football
think
teams.
that things are somewhat changing. There's no doubt. But, I mean, sort of historically.
Well, I mean, look at Baltimore. They're right next to each other.
Yeah, but they don't have four teams.
True, but there are stadiums right next to each other in the city. Philadelphia, they're all right there, right next to each other. So there are some examples.
Yeah. San Francisco, of course, moved out.
Sam, way out. The apparently RFK is being slowly torn apart.
Correct.
I
That
don't know
is the
what
word,
I don't
yeah.
know what you see when you drive by it.
I
every
mean, I'm
day,
sure parts of it are being taken care of.
it
but
just
like
looks
the,
so old.
The
Yeah,
overall facade of the stadium still looks like it's intact from where I drive by.
Yeah.
But I don't think they do anything. Like, at least for years, they kept it somewhat, usable, and it wasn't as big an eyesore when, like, DC United was there. But since Audi Field popped up, like, do they do anything there anymore?
At RFK?
Yeah, I don't think they do anything.
No.
No.
Seats are all torn out and
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah.
I mean, if they're taking it down, they're not going to put people in it.
The last picture I saw, it looked like somebody's backyard where they hadn't cut it for years.
Now they
It looked
still
horrible.
do. They still will do like big concerts on the festival grounds there, but not actually inside
Right.
the stadium.
You mean like outside of it?
Right.
Yeah. I haven't driven by there in a long time, so I don't even know what it looks like. Is there construction going on outside of the stadium, putting up new homes or anything?
But that I don't know.
Can't really tell.
Couldn't tell you.
I don't think so. I mean, maybe.
Maybe not. Yeah.
But you think there's like a new silly development of homes there?
Well, I don't know. I know that's part of this act that they want to put more homes out there, but I don't know how much room there is, to be honest with you.
I just don't know how you do it. Also, too, it's just same thing as like the Alexandria thing, right? Where the residents right around there, they don't really want to deal with it.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, would you want a stadium? I know the only guy I know that wants a stadium in his backyard's drab. He's literally the only guy I know.
Yeah, Jason said for years
He'd rather
when it
have
was
a
talked
stadium
about
than
in
another
Loudon, he
data
didn't want it
center.
there.
I didn't want it.
Hey, there's a lot of people in Alexandria who want the arena.
Right.
They're just not as loud
They're
and
just not
vocal
as loud, right?
because
What's the guy's name that we had on the show that he was anti?
Andrew McDonald.
McDonald, yeah. I mean, he's loud. He's on the local news all
Sure.
the time.
Has your
Stick a mic in his face. He'll talk to
But
you.
I never really see people, that are pro move. for
Grab
the
should
Wizards
start a
and Cats.
group for the move.
Travis, your father-in-law
Yeah.
still is he losing any steam for it, or is he?
No, he's fired up still.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
He's planted his flag, EB. He's anti.
Oh, your father-in-law's anti.
Anti,
But you're pro.
I'm pro.
Does he
that
know
cause
you're
friction?
pro, or you don't really talk about it?
No, I just listen to him, but I don't really.
You don't voice
You
your
listen
opinion.
to him rant
I mean,
and
I don't
rave?
live in Alexandria, so.
Right.
But I will definitely park at his house and walk to the arena.
It's a very good workaround. I like it. Of course, you're going to drive to the arena. Duh. That's what I
you
always
will be.
do. You drive.
Yeah. Not if you are a Delray resident.
Correct.
It'd be silly.
Del Rey. As far as the naming rights for FedEx Field,
Yeah, what are we supposed to
talked
call it?
It's a great question.
Commander Stadium,
All right, sounds
I guess,
terrible.
I
but
guess,
yeah.
I guess
Landover Stadium.
Josh Harris apparently hired a consulting firm
Right.
to look for
Get
a
some
new
naming
name.
rights.
Are they going? So that's going to end ASAP.
Oh,
they're
it's-
taking the
it's
sign
over.
down.
It's
You can't
as-
even call it
is,
FedEx
is-
Field
is
anymore.
that sign still on the
I'm sure
stadium?
they're going to remove it
Yeah.
like soon if it hasn't been done already.
Yeah, but you're right. Maybe it's going to be Commander Stadium until they get a new
They'll
sponsor.
get a sponsor. I found
they
it
will.
actually to be a low price. It was $15 million for 2
It
years.
seems low, yeah.
Mhm.
But maybe
it's-
it's because it's not. You can't really get a long-term deal because they know that stadium's not here for the long run.
Well, I'm thinking that the $15 million, the $7.5 million per year. I don't know when they signed with FedEx. 20 years ago.
I thought it was
And maybe
15 per. Is it 15? Just 7.5?
I thought
per?
it was 15 for 2 years.
Oh, okay.
Like that's the revenue they're losing. So even if it's 15 million per, that seems low. But maybe 15, 20 years ago, whenever they agreed to it, it wasn't that.
Yeah.
I mean, it seemed like a lot.
I wonder what kind of company is it going to just be in like another bank? It's gonna.
It's got to be a deep-pocketed company.
Could it be like Costco
Could be-
Stadium or
could be
something?
Amazon.
Amazon. Could
Amazon Stadium.
Because Amazon's got a huge presence
Could
here.
be
so-
Geico.
Yeah.
Remember
Geico's-
when in Miami when Bang Bros wanted to do the
Yeah.
naming
I
rights?
remember that.
I
Yeah,
know.
that's true. It's a good point.
I don't know if I'd want my company name on that stadium.
Because they all go.
It's poopy,
Because-
and that's the worst experience in the NFL.
Well,
Why
I
would
mean,
you want
Yeah.
your name attached
That
to
is
something
true,
like
but
that?
they are they're
Hopefully
trying
that
to
gets
at least
better.
upgrade it some while they're still there.
It's in the final years of a horrible stadium.
I
don't
know
wanna
we're
be
going to play
associated
some
with that.
audio from it, but on Grant and Danny, Jason Wright was on the show. And one of the things he said, and it depends on the deal you make, though, is okay, a company may not want to associate themselves with RFK FedEx Field. But let's say they move to the RFK site with a brand new stadium. They might want in now, and then those rights transfer to the new location.
way,
Well, just
yeah,
might give
so you
them a
get your
head-
foot in the door.
Fred
Head up,
Smith,
yeah.
the CEO of FedEx, he couldn't wait to take advantage of that loophole that was in the deal that if a new owner bought the team,
Oh, he
that
can
they,
bail out.
that they could opt out of the naming rights deal.
That's the reason.
He
yeah.
couldn't wait to take the FedEx name off the stadium.
Yeah. He gone.
Being a jilted former co-owner along with Dan Snyder.
But eventually it's going to turn. I don't know when, but it's going to turn. Things are going to start. Good things are going to start happening
Right.
to Commanders fans and the team, and the stadium, and hopefully they get a really good quarterback.
That stadium has just been
I just think-
trash for 15 years. And I
know.
remember we did the first show, the first ever broadcast from FedEx Field.
Remember how pumped we
We were
were?
marveling.
Yeah,
we were like,
Paul
look at
Tagliabue
this
came.
place.
I mean, we had the commissioner of the NFL standing right behind us.
Was it John Kent Cook?
Yeah.
Yes, correct.
That was actually the first time Ryan Keel called into the show.
And then Michael Westbrook
He was
caught
just
that
listening.
touchdown late to beat the Cardinals in the stadium opener.
Yep.
Well, I know we've said it a million times, especially when the whole new arena thing came out. But when I was at the Cap One Arena the other day for the Wizards game, I mean, I had a great experience. I mean, what was wrong with it? I didn't understand what was wrong with it.
And I guarantee you it was loud every time out with entertainment and music pumping.
They had bits going
They
on
got
every
the DJ.
time out. Yeah.
What was the halftime entertainment? I know I'm asking the wrong person.
You're asking the wrong guy. But I know
I've forgotten who they played.
Yeah.
Gymkhana.
there was like a version of that. Where they had 4 guys out there dunking off the trampolines.
Yeah.
They kind of missed their signature at the very end, but they made so many incredible
By
dunks.
far the best halftime entertainment is her name Red Panda? Is
Yes.
Red Panda.
Yeah.
She goes down to Tech all the time.
Well,
The Bulls.
Yeah,
Yeah, the
bowls on the
bowls.
unicycle.
She's the most. She might be the most impressive person on the planet.
She's unbelievable.
She's so sick.
And I think she's played every stadium,
Oh, I mean,
every
there's-
arena.
You would too if they said, "Hey, here's $10,000 to go out and do 3 minutes and a
10
half."
grand. You think she gets paid 10 grand for
So
that?
I think she gets a decent
What?
amount. They're not paying her like $50.
I would guess she's making a healthy chunk.
I think she's a
If it's not
pretty-
10, I bet you it's in the thousands.
Has
she's
to
a
be.
pretty
I mean, it could be
desired
2 or
halftime.
3.
She's
but
in demand, JP.
Yeah, I think she's pretty
she's
in
an
demand.
in-demand act.
All right, if she's getting paid 10 grand, I'd be stunned.
definitely-
Hey, you're gonna go practice your unicycling. And
I'm not.
Yeah,
That's
you guys mocked
CB's
me when
bit.
I was riding the
It
unicycle.
says 5,000 per performance.
There you go.
Okay, it's pretty close.
Like I said, it's in
All
the
right, it's
thousands.
still half of what he said.
Yeah, but $5,000. I mean,
Still impressive.
We
If
can't.
she's doing
we
100
can't.
nights a
It's,
year,
it's
that's
legal
half
to
a million.
exaggerate.
It's
It is legal
yes.
to do that.
Full blown legal.